Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Charlotte and I moved to the US when I was 14 years old. I will be sharing my story, what it was like for me to move here to the US, learning a new language, adjusting to the culture, and I hope I can reach some people that might be going through the same thing right now. Now I am a senior in high school and looking back, it's been quite a journey, so let's get started. First, I want to talk about the actual move. Packing up 14 years of my life into two big suitcases and moving across the globe to start a new life. My parents told me that we were moving to Texas just 1 year before we actually moved. In that 1 year, I had time to say goodbye to my friends, my teachers, my whole family. It was definitely a shock when my parents told me, "Oh, would you be okay with moving to the US?" Of course, I knew that moving to the US was probably a better option for me, just because I wanted to start over, invent someone new, and become someone new. Looking back, I don't regret my decision of saying yes. I would say yes every single day. I think it's been truly a blessing moving to the US and starting over. I remember being so excited to step on that airplane. I had 9 hours of flight ahead of me, and I could just listen to music and imagine who I want to become. It was definitely a big adjustment, but it was totally worth it. I was definitely really nervous. I even cried on the first day of school because I was so unsure about my language, my accent. Do people even understand me? I knew English from school. I learned it since I was in 3rd grade, but it wasn't like American slang language. That I learned from shows or books I read. Now, all that being said, it was definitely hard to say goodbye. I mean, who would not cry saying goodbye to the country they grew up with, the food they grew up with, the friends they grew up with? It was definitely hard, and I'm not gonna take that away. I would say that one of the biggest challenges for me was not the language, it was fitting in and making friends. I grew up in Germany and I think the culture there is very different than from the culture here. The people are different, the friend groups are different, everything is different. I felt like I didn't really fit in, I felt like my style was different, my behavior was different, and you might feel the same. And let me tell you, that's completely normal. Of course you're gonna feel different. You came from a different country, a different place. You grew up with a different culture. It's gonna be different. But why is different so bad? I don't think it's bad. I think that I taught a lot of people my culture and I was so proud of that. I spread my beliefs and I even cooked some of my German food for my friends. It was awesome. What helped me in the beginning of the school year to find friends was joining clubs. In Germany, we don't really have after-school clubs or even extracurriculars. They're not included with the whole school experience. If you go to like gymnastics, there's a gymnastics place. It's not in the school, you know what I mean? So it's not really you can find friends from school there. Now I joined theater, and that helped me so much with language learning and growing that confidence. I was basically forced to go up on stage and perform in front of a group of people. Americans are not judgy at all. They want to help you, they want to support you. So don't be afraid to ask questions, join clubs, do something you probably would have never done in your country. I think one of the biggest pros of moving away from your country is starting over. No one knows you. No one knows who you are, what you've been through, what your story is. They can't judge you because they don't know anything about you. You can be someone completely different, someone you've always inspired to be. Talking about school, just sitting in class was completely different from what I've known from Germany. There are different levels of difficulty you can choose from. No one is telling you what to do. You can choose. For example, I was in advanced world geography, but I was in regular English and I was in regular math. And then the next year, I was in advanced math and regular history. You can choose whatever you want to. You can choose the level of difficulty, the type of science you want to study, the type of math you want to study. You could choose between algebra and geometry. There's different types of classes that you can choose from that I've never experienced something like that. I've never been able to choose the classes that I wanted to choose. I really like the system they have here because I feel like it's so much more future oriented. It's not like you go to school just to learn. You go to school because you actually have a class that is focused on what you might want to do in your future. For example, right now I am in Ready, Set, Teach. It's a class where you have an internship at an elementary school and you can be an assistant teacher. That is something that would have never been a class in Germany. Never. Now I also want to talk about the American teenage girl style. I'm gonna blend y'all some pictures in right here. This is what American teens dress like for me in Texas in a high school. This is what I saw the most, and I feel like this is nothing compared to Europe. I feel like going to school in Europe was just such a fashion show. You got up like 2 hours early to do your hair, makeup, your outfit. No one wore sweatpants. No one even wore a backpack if you're a girl. No one wore a backpack. We all had these like over the shoulder bags that we would carry to school every single day. It's just funny to see the difference between Europe and America. I feel like a topic that is not talked about enough is colleges. Americans go crazy about colleges. There's alumni scholarships. There's sororities and frats. There's dorms. Something I didn't even know what that was in Europe. I don't think that going to a university is such a big deal in Europe. I mean, I moved away in 8th grade, so I don't really know if people were talking about that. But I don't think that in 10th grade or 11th grade we would worry about which university we would go to after school. But in America, it's such a big deal. Everyone is working on their resume, joining as many clubs as possible, getting as many leadership positions as possible. They're all doing that to get into the highest ranking universities with the biggest scholarships. And I don't blame them. I mean, universities are so expensive, you need scholarships to go. Which, in Germany, universities are free. Now, obviously, there's cost for housing and food because we don't have dorms. You need to get an apartment. Now, also in Germany, we don't have sororities or frats. And that is something that I still don't really understand. What even is a sorority? You join a house with a lot of girls? Don't know. If someone knows, please let me know in the comments because I genuinely don't understand it. I can make a different video just on colleges if you guys would want to see that, and explain the whole application process because I am going through it right now as a senior in high school. I've already applied to a lot of colleges, to a lot of scholarships, so if you guys want a separate video on that, I can definitely do that. Another thing that people don't talk about enough is missing home. It is completely normal to miss your home country, your family you've left behind, your old friends. You miss those connections. You grew up with them, and it's completely normal to sit in bed and cry. I don't even know how many nights I sat in my bed and just cried because I miss Germany so much. Of course, I miss the food. I miss my grandparents. I miss my aunt, my cousin. And that is normal. You're gonna miss your home country. Now, let me tell you what can help you through this. Your family. Your family is your support system at home. They've been through what you've been through. They moved with you. If you have a sibling, sit down with them and talk about it. Just talk about what you guys miss or what you guys don't miss. It just helps to talk. You should never feel like you're stuck in the country without any support, because that's not true. There's always someone out there that's been through the same thing as you. Just reach out to people and talk about it. So if you're an immigrant teenager, just know it gets better. You will find your place, you will find your people, and you will find a reason why you're here. I always say there's a reason for everything. You just have to find it. Now I will be posting about my life at school, my life outside of school, just the American culture and culture differences, and I'm gonna give you guys tips for new immigrants. So subscribe if you relate, or if you don't relate and you just want to watch something, because I got you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.